Hello there, Qckslvrslash, and today we have a video courtesy of Reckless Sneak along with two of his buddies who've divvied up at tier 9, and Reckless has brought the Roon, and alongside him he's got a Missouri and a Yugamo, a very competent division and a good lineup. You know, anytime you're making a div, you have to think a bit about balance, because the big advantage to a division is your ability to really control an area. So bringing, a DD, a cruiser, and a battleship really gives you that. The DD brings your spotting. Having a cruiser there really helps you deal with enemy destroyers, and the battleship just helps you blap anything that shows up. Now, they are playing on Warriors Path Domination. You can see mostly a tier 10 game, and that's life at tier 9. Even tier 8 a lot of the times you will tend to see some of the higher tiers just because of how the lower tiers have blocked matchmaking. That's not a bad thing. Opportunity to get more experience. Now off the bat here you can see Reckless is setting up to support his buddy Chef Hoyle in the Yugamo as they go to Bravo. And really the thing I'd say is you do want the Missouri to get somewhat close just so its radar can cover a good chunk of the cap. This island here north of B really gives that, and you can see the Missouri is kind of heading that direction. So should they spot something and a Yugamo and cab not be enough to deal with it, well, you've got some friendly guns to help you out. It's also nice to see that the team has split more or less evenly. Now that can be a disadvantage because there is often a huge push out to A. These friendly ships could find themselves outnumbered. They have to recognize that early and just be ready to kind of fight a running, kiting battle and just buy time to really give this group time to go through what is starting to look like pretty equal numbers. So this could actually be a pretty balanced battle across the whole map, which you don't tend to see a whole lot. The lemming train is often pulling up to station and everyone loves to climb aboard. It feels safer to go with a group of ships than go the other way, but sometimes it's better to go the other way, and as far as experience and just fun game goes, a lot better game going the other way. No, there is no real other way in this one so far. So with B generally uncontested, you can see Reckless has decided to kind of sneak up the middle, and well, I was free cameraing there for a bit, but took a pot shot over at what I believe was the Yami. Not a bad strategy. The unfortunate part, Reckless is spotted. And personally, if I was trying to get up the middle here, I'd probably try to stay dark till I was really in a well-guarded position. Reckless just has the threat of ships over here and potentially ships over here, both having shots, and that becomes hard to angle. But as he advances further and further, this rear flank starts to lose their shot just because of range and islands, and well, that looks like a mighty stationary Izimo, which means that fire's probably gonna stick. And if Reckless can get cheeky here and get another fire or two, that ship could come back to his keyboard or load into the game. It's hard to tell if his guns are facing forward or not because you can't really see that third turret under the fire. Either way, some free damage, and damage Reckless will gladly take. Now I think he really is setting up to try to put some side shots into the ships over here. We'll see. You can see him starting to back up, and if he backs up and kind of curls off to the right, that is what I would say he's trying to do. Unfortunately, he's just not getting any more fires on this Izimo. Though, now that I say it, there's two, and that's a very lucky volley. The plane comes down, and, well, with that damage control, you pretty much know the Izimo is here to fight. You can see his engines warming up, thick plume of smoke leaving that stack, and, well, he cannot feel good having loaded in at that kind of health. And Reckless gets another fire. So he loaded in, saw he was on fire, and went, oh crap, damage controlled, before he was really moving enough to be able to disengage. And you can see how Chef Hoyle in the Yugamo is just giving the vision. This isn't a ship that would normally be spotted at these kind of ranges. So there is a big advantage already to the DD. And Hoyle Well, you know what he's doing. He's trying to sneak in behind so that as these ships start to get flushed out, they sail straight into his torpedoes. What I'll also say is quite interesting is the friendlies managed to take A on the other side of the map, but they've pretty much cost themselves everything. And if I look back there, you can just see the Hindi. He's still kicking it, but I don't think he'll be in this much longer. So with that, Reckless, realizing there's not going to be a lot to fight, nothing's going to be pushing up, he gets himself moving, turned around, those butt guns coming about, ready to help engage this fleet as it runs. And you can see Chef Hoyle doing the same. You know, you can't spend too much time with, you know, a force you're pushing into. You've really got to make a push quickly, because you waste too much time sitting about, you know, kind of passively contesting. Even though it's very equal numbers, it's going to give this fleet over here far more time to either circle around the north or reinforce the south, but either way, just make a mess of you. And that's, I suppose, the big risk here. Now, it is unfortunate they're down 4 ships, but thankfully, because of the caps they took early, they're pretty much even on points, though they just lost the Yugamote to a Torp. That always sucks when a DD sails into a Torp, and, well, Reckless is detected. That's a very uncomfortable place. I can pretty much guarantee it's the Shimakaze. And it goes dark, which tells me the Shima, or whatever is detecting them, is moving up through these islands. There's the Des Moines popping in at 10.3. It's actually possible it was the DM detecting him, but he's got to get running. Thankfully, 2 of his guns are on the stern of the ship. That's 66% of his firepower, so he can do some damage as he gets out of here. And that's really his best bet. Just start kiting away. The Roon is a master at letting people chase it, much like the Hindi. You know, it's got a good rate of fire. It can really lay down damage. It's got the German HE. You know, things give you those opportunity shots. You've got the AP, but he does have the ability here to do a lot of damage. And if he can bait this Des Moines into the right position, Chef Hoyle may have a nasty surprise for that enemy cruiser. And with about that much angle, I'd probably consider swapping to AP here, simply because the Des Moines is on fire. Let the one fire burn. He's not going to put it out because it's only one, and I think he's expecting that next fire to still come. So, you know, give your ship support. And, well, B is being capped by an unspotted ship, so there's definitely a DD to contend with, be it the Shimakaze or Groshevoy. There we go. Gets another fire onto the DM. There's the damage control. AP loaded this time. And you can see things getting mighty uncomfortable mighty quick. Thankfully, it seems a lot of that enemy fleet is still trying to play catch up. The Yami, definitely in gun range, but the Yami can shoot across this whole map, so that doesn't matter too much. And thankfully, the DM has popped behind the island, and Hoyle gets the kill. Unfortunately, a bit of a glitch in the replay. Not sure what happened there, but definitely jumped in time. So with Chef Hoyle in the B cap, you know it's contested, which means he's got company. The Yugamo is still spotted. You know, the Edinburgh, it's been shooting, so it's now getting spotted on and off, so at least we know where a couple of the ships are right now. And you can see the third mate there, Nat Basher, really starting to try to push. He's pushing up. He's trying to encourage these friendly ships to make short work of really a couple low health ships. A Roon on that kind of health, much like Reckless, you know, gives a battleship the wrong angle, it's game over. Same with that Izumo. And you've got to get rid of ships. This Tirpitz got away, you know, on 8,000 health. I would be trying to get my guns on him, because really the way you come back from this is with damage done. Now the Yami finishes one off, the Cab finishing off that Roon. There we go. Things are starting to claw back. They're ahead on points just because of Cab's health, and that's going to go a long way in just buying time. And this is a great situation for when you're outnumbered. So often you find yourself outnumbered and the enemy is way ahead on points and you have to make a really bold play. It's not the case in this situation, and it's going to allow Reckless to kind of do what he's doing. Stay at like absolute max range, just really make himself an unappealing target and try to get damage, just try to work ships down. Unfortunately, Hoyle is finding himself in a tricky situation, only 500 hit points, he's in a smoke, and Reckless was really the last bastion detecting the Yamato. And this is one of those situations where, you know, maybe Reckless having kited the other way could have worked out better, but you can't know because you didn't know where those other ships were pushing up, so he had to go the way he was. And unfortunately, that ends up meaning his div mate dies because it's just a lack of vision and support. Meanwhile, out at the Sea Cap, they've finally pretty much taken care of everything. There's Nabuki and Yugamo still slinking about, but the forces have arrived. It's time to do some damage. You can see right away there, Reckless leading the Yami, and these are looking good. Come on, fire. Go a long way right now, because that Richelieu is gonna be in trouble. There's 2 DDs in that cap, and the Rish is just charging in. Her guns may be on the front, but she's not ready for the kind of hurt coming her way. Reckless does get a fire there, and, well, things are still plausible. Reckless picks up his Wither. That Turpitz still hasn't managed to recover all that much health. That tells me he's eaten a lot of heavy damage early, and that's going to really help out in just ensuring that he's not able to come back too strong. The Yami eating a big hit there. The fire continuing to slowly just eat away at the health as the Yamato tries to heal, and the Richelieu's getting his side, and this could be interesting because the Richelieu's got a really good rate of fire. He may be able to get the side of that Yami and put some damage in. He does. It's not enough to kill the Yami. Luckily, the Yami isn't able to return it either. One going down to fire, the other looks like probably the rear turrets got him. But you'll trade ships. You know, that goes... it kind of takes points away from both teams. It buys you time. Unfortunately, you know, Nat Basher there, not on great health. The Yami really the last big target with hit points, and he's not pushing. He's kind of just backing up. Yeah, a lot shooting at him. Yeah, there's DDs there. The Cab doing a good job getting in front of Nat Basher, pushing in. He's going to be that guy to help detect, and Reckless, you know, working down the Turpitz. Let's get rid of another ship. And Reckless would probably be very happy if he manages to pick up a kill here, because despite 147,000 damage, doesn't have a kill yet. And granted, a lot of this is because he's been running this whole time and just hasn't been able to necessarily shoot at targets as they go behind land, but damage does help. Now the Cab goes down to the Shima, but the Shima goes down to Nat Basher. And if I'm a Missouri or Yami, I'm happy that the Shimikaze is gone. That's the last destroyer. Now it's a gunfight. And, well, with the exception of the Edinburgh, and a gunfight is something the Missouri and Yami will happily take. And you can see this Turpitz has basically just been chased away. Keeps taking shots at Reckless, but because these high tier German cruisers are just so good at engaging at range, and some of the lower tier ones were as well, it's just, I think he feels not worth it to himself to take those shots. Now with an Eden backing out, Reckless is quick to load AP. Anytime you see a side-on British cruiser, it just screams to you, please do damage. And there's a Citadel, one pen, another volley like that, he'll be gone, but the Yami is the one to finish him off. Reckless still unable to secure a kill until the fire eats the Turpitz. And for the first time, they're on top of the kill count. And at this point, really, I think it's still anyone's game. Reckless isn't on a ton of health, though he does lay a big hit into that Ibuki. Can't see what Nat Basher's on, and this Yami, well, he's beat up. So this North Carolina, if he can win that fight against the Missouri, he could probably turn around and take out the Yami too. So it's going to be up to Reckless here to pretty much solo this Ibuki. And unfortunately, Japanese cruisers have a detection advantage over the German cruisers. And that's going to, if the Ibuki's smart, allow him to control the engagement. The Yami goes down, and once again, they're kind of on the clock. They've got a 200-point lead, but oh, not feeling a lot of luck for Nat Basher. You can see little ticks of health leaving the North Carolina, but if he's not able to get those front guns in, it means he really doesn't have the hit points to trade. I wish I could see what kind of health he had right now. But you see Reckless here deciding, I think, that he's got to just get to B and try to contest. He's got his spotting plane up, anything to try to help detect, and really you can read a bit into that enemy Ibuki position. Or at least I thought you could. I thought that was the Ibuki spotting plane. It turns out it was probably the Tirpitz's old plane or something like that. But the Ibuki takes a shot, misses, gives up his position, and well, now Reckless is back to the guns. The Ibuki goes dark, but he's going to take the shot. When you're, you know, the less or the more detectable ship, or have worse concealment than the enemy ship you're engaging, it's not going to kill you to take a parting shot based on last position. Now, Reckless does have the Hydra up important because the Ibuki has some decent torpedoes, and well, these kind of ranges probably had the opportunity to get them off and really just get into the cap. If you can secure a cap hill here, even if they lose Nat Basher and that Missouri, this one's not over. And I really think the Ibuki is trying to get to a position to help the North Carolina, who just took a big hit but managed to finish off Reckless's last remaining div mate. So now it's a 1v2. They've still got the point lead, at least momentarily, and as long as Reckless can get into the cap, they'll be able to maintain that. 2 minutes left. This may just be a war of attrition. Can he survive long enough? Once he's in the cap, there's no way they're going to get the point lead without killing him, because there's no ship that can get over there quick enough and take it away. So this really comes down to, does Reckless get in here across the line before the points are even? And my bet's on yes, because you can see the points ticking closer and closer, but it's not fast enough. And if you're the enemy team here, I almost feel like they're probably being like, you know, it might be worth running. Now I'm safe to bet that this is the Ibuki's plane, and you can read into where he is based on that plane. You know, it circles around its mothership, and based on the cap being contested and how that plane's circling, you know the Ibuki's pretty much right here. And it's a tough call. Do you push in and try to take out the enemy cruiser, or do you just try to buy time? And I honestly think he can buy time. 1 minute left. The Ibuki is pushing around, and that could spell disaster. The Ibuki, you can see those torp tubes. This is not going to be comfortable. Reckless eats a hit there, doesn't really get damage in, and you can see he's putting his fish, marbles, everything in on getting some torps into the water. Now, I'd be very worried about where that North Carolina is, but the torps get the kill. The North Carolina hits him, but he survives. And that's going to be the game. Now, personally, I might have tried to just ground myself on this island, ride it out. You know, nose on, there's no way that Ibuki's killing him quick enough. But he makes a play, it works out, and he gets the win. He doesn't even need to stay in the cap anymore. So, with the win secured, let's jump to post-battle. And a strong game by Reckless. I think at the end there, he had to make a decision either to try and hide behind the island and really rely that they're not going to be able to get around you in time, or push out and just try to take them on in guns. There was the risk that the BB could drop in shells and help out that enemy's AO, but it didn't manage to, and ultimately Reckless got the win. 2 kills, 213,000 damage, huge chunks of experience, Wither, Confederate, Dreadnought, High Caliber, and the win. 2,449 experience in this one. Top of the team. You can see where the rest of his div wound up. They really did do a lot of work to carry this game. When you look at the damage, it's pretty spread across the board. And that last ship, the Ibuki, that's the one that could have got him, but it didn't manage to. And coming out broadside like that really hurt the Ibuki. End of the day, though, took home just shy of 210,000 credits, 11,000 XP. And these big XP numbers no longer surprise me. With the camos that they've added to this game, it's easy to get some big numbers to take home and get you through ships. Anyways, Reckless, thank you very much for sending this in. I enjoyed it. I hope everyone else did. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing to the channel. And as always, I'm Qckslvrslash. I'll have another one for you all later.